What's up, y'all? This is Tone Stith, and you know I got soul. Like you said, 2022 is already starting off crazy. Artist of the Month, nominated for an iHeartRadio award, which is crazy. Just never thought, the VT, like the Soul Train Awards, that was amazing. And it was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, but I always, pictured myself being on that stage with the iHeartRadio Awards. It was one of those things where it was like, damn, I'm all right. iHeart Award. Okay, cool. So, it's a blessing, man. And 2022 is just, I feel really good about it. I think my team feels really good about it. And this is the year that Tone Stith transitions into that name, that mainstream, that guy. So, yeah.
I like that, man. I like that. And it's funny you say that because I just saw you posted the performance you're going to do with Chris Brown and Monica.
Yep.
And I think that just solidifies you up there with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I definitely see that.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about any new music coming this year.
Yeah. So, been working on a ton of new things. I have a project specifically that I've been working on. It's another EP. So, I'm definitely working on the album. The album is in the works. I know everybody's been asking me since like 2017, but I'm working on the album still. But there's an EP coming up that I'm super excited about. I don't want to drop no names yet, you know what I'm saying? But I am super excited about it. I think the lane is, me and just older, me being 26 and just really like getting into that musical bag that, where my background stems from. And I think it's gonna be great, bro.
There's no doubt it's gonna be, man. There's no doubt. If we're comparing it to the two projects you just dropped, I got no doubt in my mind. So
appreciate you.
Anything about touring? You have any plans for that this year?
So hopefully, it's not announced, but I may be going overseas. I'm not gonna say who with yet. It's not announced yet, but I may be going overseas in the summertime. And then I may be going on tour in the fall with another big name that I'm not going to mention yet until it's finalized. But summer and fall is looking like Tone is going to be pretty booked up for the rest of the year. Let's just say that.
That's awesome, man. Good for you. Let's see. So I know I watched your BET interview for the Soul Train. And I know that you mentioned that one of the biggest accomplishments thus far was stepping onto that stage and just being nominated for a Soul Train Award. So I wanted to know, what are your next goals to surpass that?
The next goals is actually winning an award on any stage. But really having that Grammy nomination to me is like, now we're pushing the bar. And now it's like, yo, there's a true respect that comes from that when you're Grammy nominated, even if you don't win. But being Grammy nominated is like, that's the standard that we want. You know what I mean? So that's as far as the awards go, that's the next one that I'm like very like focused on making sure I'm in that batch.
Got you. You're there, man. You're there.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry about that. So let's talk about the last two projects you dropped, man. FWM, still FWM. I already gave you your props. I can go on for days about how much I love it, but I wanted to know, what was the message you wanted to get across with both?
So I'll start with the first one with FWM. It was like my reintroduction to dropping music and to, dropping music. And before that, the last project that I dropped, I think was in 2018, Good Company. So it was like a good, 3 years almost of like not dropping any music. I dropped Devotion in 2020, but it was a good 3 years of not dropping a body of work. So for that project, the focus was like, yo, I've been going for 3 years. Like, let me come back and let me put a body of work together. It's like, hey, for my fans that love me and that know me, here's some music. But for the people that don't know me, know that this is something that you want to be a part of before it blows up. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to have that in your back pocket. I knew this dude before he blew up. And that was a statement for FWM. Now, still FWM was like, all right, we caught some fire. We caught y'all attention. Now that I'm here, are y'all still along for the ride? Because we still just getting started. So it was the level up, though, from FWM. And I think it was really received as that, too. So I'm really happy that it went that way. And I know that song, that project is still doing its rounds. It's still reaching new consumers, and I'm excited because it's been really organic, the response that I've been getting from that project. So, as time moves on, I'm very curious to see like, yo, what songs from even both of those projects circle back around and like really take off, because I think that potential is definitely there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna talk about my favorites in a bit,
Yeah.
but I want to know, like you said, you last time you dropped music was 2018, besides Devotion,
Right.
and then you had your two projects. Then Can We Talk, Good Company, and now the two I just mentioned. So I want to know, has making music changed for you during that time between the two?
I think it definitely changed because of where I was at in life. Just kind of taking like 3 years off of putting music out. I was definitely still working in those 3 years, but I was still living life, still figuring things out. Still really figuring myself out and what was going on and what I wanted to speak about, and my brand and the vision and how I wanted people to see me when they see me and when they hear me for the first time. And I think that was really, really the focus point. And yeah.
Yeah, man. That's great. So I want to talk about my favorites now. Honestly, I've been waiting to tell you these, man.
What's up, man? I gotta hear it.
These,
I'm curious.
These songs, man. These songs. So I think this is obvious. At the end of the night, that's already a classic to me. Like when I first heard them, man, it's like you just decide to go in the studio and flex your vocals. That's it. Like you know what I'm saying? It's that type of song, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So then the other one on FWM is When I'm With You. I love that one. It's another one.
I feel like that's a sleeper. That's a quiet storm right there.
Most definitely, yo. Because the singles, man, they jump out at you, and you want to keep going back to them.
Right.
But when that comes on right after, the one you sampled, Donald Jones, which we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, the When You Love Someone. Yep.
When You Love Someone. When it comes on right after that, man, it's different.
It's game changing.
It's different.
Appreciate it, man.
No, of course, man. So now it's still FWM. Energy, man. Energy.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, that the singles on that album, the songs on that project, they switch for me. So I got my favorites one day, the next day I got another one. So Something in the Water has been the one that's been caught in my head daily.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fallon. I know you work with her on that.
Yeah.
And then another one, Perfect 10. It's not my typical song I go to, but again, it just catches me up. Like I'm definitely more of a When I'm With You. I love the slow stuff.
Right. The R&B. Right.
Yeah, that's what I grew up on. But the Perfect 10, man, it just brings me to a different like level. It's awesome.
Word, man. I appreciate.
I wanted
to
know. No, of course, man. I want to know your favorites now on the project so far.
I think I can say for sure, like off of Still FWM, Do I Ever was one of my favorites, simply because that song was in the vault. That song was first recorded, with just me, I think 2017. And it was just me on that song. The song had a totally different name. And in 2018, meeting up with Chris, he was working on Indigo at the time, and I happened to pull up at his house and stuff like that, played it for him, and he was like, yo, it was just kind of like, yo, can you want to put a verse on it? Like, what's up? Let's do this together. What's going on? And when he agreed to do that, it was kind of like, oh, this is a full circle moment, from working with him in 2015 and just having that relationship with him. But the fact that it was like, yo, we finally got a song together as artists, you know what I'm saying? It was a different thing for me. I haven't felt that before. So when that finally came out, it was crazy because it was like, yo, that was one of the songs that I was like, time was passing by and I was like, maybe that song is just going to stay in the vault and it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. So I guess it was supposed to happen on Still FWM. So that's one of my favorites just for that reason. And then another one of my favorites off of that project is I Don't Wanna. I love that song. And, I recorded that song out in Atlanta, I want to say in 2020. And from the moment that that song was made, it was just a connection that I had with it. I was like, ooh, this is just, it's different because it's just, it's still sweet. It's still got the, you know, the soulful, you know, the good singing to it or whatever. And like, you know, I got that tone in the song, but to me, the beat is so like ignorant, like it's still knocking, you know what I'm saying? So the contrast with the two in those songs are crazy to me. So yeah, those are my favorite from that project. And then FWM, I gotta go with FWM. That was one of my favorites because I think the night in the studio that was being made, I mean, when they were going through the loops, the producers that made it, when they were going through the loops, I heard that, you know, that initial sound when the song comes on, that was something that they went through. And I was like, they kept scrolling after they played that. And I was like, yo, whoa, go back. Like, hold on, I like that. And as the night went on and as we produced a song and put more to it, I kind of already had it in my head what the song was going to be about, where I was going to go with it. So the flow of it was just like, it was effortless. And it was just one of my favorites. I think everybody that heard that song too was just like, this is different. Like, it's just, you're in a different pocket. This is like, we like this, you know what I mean? So that was just one of my favorites from that project too.
Is that why you named the project after that song?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
When that song was made, it was kind of like, let's follow suit. This is the one, y'all. So we're gonna follow after this one. But I think too with that song and that title, it was like, yo, you know what? That's what this new project is about. You know, I haven't put music out in almost 3 years. This is what it's about. Like, you know, F with me. You know what I mean? Like, this is me. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. Why don't you take us back to when you wrote for Chris Brown? Because like you said, it's a full circle moment. I know that must have been insane for you. So why don't you take us back to what you were doing at that time, who you were? I know you were in your group as well.
So I had, the group had just kind of like split and was doing its own thing. And at that time, you know, I didn't necessarily want to be an artist at that time. Like it was more like, yo, you know, I want to write songs, I want to produce, and I want to see, you know, who likes my songs, who likes my sound. And, you know, the way that it happened, it was like there was some songs that I made, you know, being back home in Jersey, and there's some songs that I made in California. And by the time Chris heard everything, it was like a little pack that was pretty much together. It was like, hey, it's kind of the stuff I've been working on and you know, in the last whatever few months and whatever. So when I played it for him, I got the opportunity to play my music. He just lost it. He was just like, yo, I'm gonna need this one, and that one, and throw that one in there while you at it, type deal. And it was just crazy because at that moment when he cut you know, those records, it was like a full circle moment for me because I was kind of foreshadowing that when I was in high school. I was like, yo, I'm gonna write and I'm gonna produce for Chris Brown one day. So when he cut those records, it was kind of that verification of like, yo, you know, one of your favorites is cutting your songs, bro. I think that means something. I think you got what it takes, man. You should go ahead and pull the trigger on the artist thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about When You Love Someone now. This is another one that it stands out. I think I see it could be another full circle moment because you toured with her, you know, and then just to be in the studio with them, I'm assuming that was awesome. But I wanted to ask what the process was like, and then I want to talk about this Donald Jones sample. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that was another organic situation. And that's another one of my favorites too of that project, just because of how organic that situation was. But I was working in a studio and her was working right next door. And a few days before, she was like, you know, I want to play you something. Or my manager, Jeff, was like, hey, her has a song for you that she wants to play you just to see what you think about it. And if you like it, you know, you can cut it. And I was like, yeah, bet, of course. So she played the song for me. I heard it and I was like, you know, of course, when I heard the flip of the When You Love Someone, the Donald Jones, because he's another one of my favorites that I grew up on. So when I heard that flip, I was like, oh yeah, you got me. You definitely got me. So that process was amazing. And then you know, as we recorded it, obviously we did a session together. And it was cool working with her because it was like, you know, that was the first time we worked in the studio together. You know, outside of that, it was on stage and you know, we seen each other performing and things like that. But that was the first time we worked in the studio, and just working with her and her pushing me to bring that feeling out in that song was game changer for me. And I kind of took that from that session, and as I went into more sessions, it was like, yeah, that's the target. Like that's the new standard. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool. I'm glad we got to share that moment together, and I think that's a big moment in my career too.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that Donnell was an inspiration to you.
Yeah,
we see the Michael Jackson. You know, we see you talk about it. We see that, you know, the Prince, even Miguel. But to me, I see Donnell Jones, man.
Yeah.
Just in someone who vocally kills it,
right.
but also is a writer who doesn't really flex it that much. But if you know that he's a writer, you're like, okay, yeah, these melodies are sticking with me. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's coming.
Killing it. Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
Yep, 100%.
So I'm assuming when you did that, when you knew that sample was there, it was definitely meaningful in some type of way then when you were making the song.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, outside of it, I mean, the song was amazing, even when she played it for me. And I was gonna say yes, regardless.
Yeah.
But I mean, once I got to that flip, I was like, whoo, this is the right way to flip that song too. Because I know people tried it, but that was the right way to do it.
Yeah. So let's talk about this Soul Train Cypher. I remember I saw it on TV, you know, a few months ago, and I gotta know the process to it, man. Like, you say in this song you're on the plane writing. Like, is that actually what happened? Like, you just got on the plane, you got the beat.
It happened the day before, so I got the call maybe 2 days before the Cypher took place, and it was like my manager was like, "Yo, you need a 16, and you need to you need to come with it." You know what I'm saying? And you know, I did have help, but it was definitely like while I was on the plane, I was tweaking, I was changing stuff around, and then on top of that, it was memorizing stuff too. Like, so he's like, "Yo, on top of that, I gotta memorize this whole verse." You know what I'm saying? And but it came together, and that was another experience. I was like, "Wow!" Like I'm you know, I remember watching all these ciphers, you know, watching previous Soul Train Awards, and being like, "Damn, this is tight!" Like I can't wait until I'm involved in one. And the way it happened, I mean, it was crazy. It was right in the middle of we weren't on tour, but I was getting ready for one of my shows on a part of my tour, and it was at SOB's in New York. And I think while we were getting ready for that, that's when we got the call, like, hey, they want Tone to be a part of the Cypher. So yeah, it was crazy, man. It was a great experience, and I'm glad that they chose me to be a part of it for sure.
How was it doing it next to Music Soul Child? Another one of the legends that we love over here. So.
Yeah, man, that's another one. Especially, you know, him being from Philly and I'm from Jersey too. So like, I grew up on a lot of music. My family is big fans of music, so definitely grew up on a lot of music. So just to be there and you know, even have him like, oh, all right, like, you know what I'm saying, vibing to me and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, bro, like, hey, man, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You was a part of this too. You know what I'm saying? So it was a full circle moment.
Awesome, man. So before I let you go, we're trying out this new little thing with a few rapid questions. Nothing crazy.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. So favorite album or song?
All right. Let's go. Damn. Favorite song.
Okay, favorite song.
Favorite song has got to be, I'm gonna go Michael Jackson, Human Nature.
Great pick. I saw you doing on the Terrell show. And
you
killed it.
Thank you, bro. That's all-time favorite.
Yeah, no, there's nothing beating that. It kind of goes into my second question, which was your favorite Michael album. I know you love Michael, so I had to know.
Ooh, Off the Wall.
Off the Wall?
Easy. Yep.
Definitely. How about an artist that you want to write for?
Artist I would like to write for. I would love to write for John Mayer.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a huge John Mayer fan also. So I would love to
Wow.
write for John Mayer.
I was not expecting that, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dream collab.
Oh, me and Pharrell.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir. The Neptunes. I could.
Yeah.
You killed
Yeah.
that. You killed that on
Yeah.
a Justin
Pharrell. That's
Timberlake album type vibe. Yeah.
right. That's a different process right there. Yeah. We
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah. One song that you wish you wrote.
Oh man, that's a good one. I wish I wrote Versace on the floor.
Mm,
I wish I wrote that.
great pick, yo.
Definitely.
I could see you singing that too. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that's one of the ones. Yeah.
Great pick. So how about a Chris Brown song other than Liquor that you wish you wrote?
Um. Uh. Oh, one that. All right, I'm gonna do more recent because obviously, like like the throwbacks is they're elite. I'm gonna do one recent. So I was on this album. I did write some on this album, but one that I wish I wrote on Indigo is Heat. That there's something in that song. That's one of my favorites off of Indigo. I'm like, I wish I wrote on Heat. I was like, damn, he didn't call me for that one.
And favorite place to perform?
Favorite place?
Yeah. It could be a state, it could be, a venue, whatever you think.
You know what? I gotta say New York because I remember when I first started going on tour, really, and I was opening up for Bryson, and I was doing some spot days for him. And the first time I performed in New York, it was like, or let's actually backtrack. I'm gonna give you a little tea. Okay. So the first time I got booed off the stage was in New York at the Apollo. And I always, after that night that it happened, it was always like, you know what, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, it happened. I'm gonna come back stronger. So fast forward 2016, I opened up for Bryson at the what's the place called? I can't think of it now, but it starts with a W. But I opened up for Bryson, and I remember everybody saying like, "Yo, now it's New York. It's a tough crowd. You know what I'm saying? New York is different." And I'm like, "Well, I already got booed off of the stage before New York, so I mean, how much worse could it be?" And I remember that first performance. It was like, at first they didn't want to, vibe with me. But by the end of the performance, it was like, hey, I like you. And every time that I've hit the stage in New York since then has always been bang, bang, bang. And then the last show that I had in New York was my show at SOB's, which was actually sold out. And it was incredible. And it was like, damn, I got a sold out show in New York. Back, where I got booed at, you know what I'm saying? And that was a full circle moment. So I got to give it to New York.
And you made it at that point then. If you get the booze and you keep getting better.
Right. To a sold out show. You know what I'm saying? That's the story.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for sharing that. And
yeah, bro.
I think we're good, man. I thank you for doing this. And
of course. I appreciate
again, I'm a big fan. So I really do appreciate talking with you.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man.